What I've got for you today is a best of 3 series of Zerg versus Protoss between two of the very best South Korean pro gamers. In game number 1, we find ourselves on the map Oceanborn. Spawning right here in the top left-hand corner, we have Solar. Playing, by the way, for a new team, Fatality. I don't actually think I've featured him with his new username on the channel just yet, but basically the entire on-site squad is now part of Fatality, which is amazing for them. His opponent, though, in the opposite corner, the highest ranked Protoss either in the world, at the very least from South Korea, we have none other than herO. Still playing for DKZ, Dragon Kaizi Gaming. Either way, what exactly should we expect between these two? Generally speaking, I would imagine that Solar is going to be the one who will be a bit of a punching bag. Yeah. He likes being a punching bag. He likes being attacked by the opponent and then absorbing every single punch until eventually he can overwhelm his opponent. And his strategies have been rubbing off a little bit on some of the ever so slightly lower ranked Zerg players from Korea, where they're trying to mimic the... No. Is he faking a cannon rush? Okay. There's no cannon rush coming. Yeah, drones are gonna have to be pulled anyways. Come on, herO. This is such a dirty play. So, he's gonna cancel that. There's no way. Ah, got you now. Was that an advantage right there for the Protoss player? Not really. Because obviously that's a lot of resources that, yeah, you're gonna slow down your own Nexus with. I always love the Koreans with their singular question marks. Just the one question mark. For some reason, I think it's really funny. Anyways, guys like, for example, Shin, guys like, for example, Su, both fantastic players, of course, in their own right, but I've seen them copy some of the styles that Solar's been going for, and they tried to be a punching bag as well, but it never really seems to work nearly as well as for Solar. Maddox apparently translating. Ah, okay, so Solar's asking who's ahead now? herO says, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think you're in a good spot right there, honestly. There were a lot of drones pulled, I guess, but core is done already. OP. Ah, so this is a fake cannon rush into a cyber core and then eventually a Nexus. Essentially what this comes down to is that the Nexus is super duper late, but the cyber core is pretty early. Well, if anything, it is going to make the game very messy because every single attack that Protoss goes for leans onto that cybernetics core timing. And every single timing that you're used to with, for example, your queens and your spore crawlers and all the rest of it, right? Your unit producing timings, right? All of those things are gonna be thrown out of the window now. So, I guess Solar is gonna have to play this a little bit more flexibly. Let's see if he's been doing his Zerg yoga. What Zerg unit do you think is best at yoga? Definitely not the Ultralisk. Probably the Hydra. I feel like the Hydra is basically a snake with a head. I guess snakes have heads. Anyways, shout out, of course, to Maddox right there for doing a little bit of translating. Nice to see him as part of this series. Maddox has been translating quite a few of the premier StarCraft 2 tournaments as well, so I would imagine that his translations are accurate. For now, though, no Hydralisks, but we do have some Zergling Yoga over here. Link speed is going to finish up, and herO needs to be cautious, because losing 2 Adepts at this point in the game is going to make taking a 3rd base very tricky. Oracle is coming up. 2nd Oracle, that is. 1st Oracle is going across the map. 3rd Adept also goes across. Normal timing for the 3rd is going to be landed, it looks like. It's about 10 seconds later than you would imagine normally it to go down, but I guess that's because the pylon situation right over here at the front did slow him down quite a bit. This is dangerous, though, because herO doesn't know how many Zerglings are made, right? So, obviously it's Solar, and Solar is a pretty conservative man. Doesn't really play, you know, dark levels of Zerglings. But I don't think this is something that herO would do against Dark, because it can backfire really hard. Dark may just make enough Zerglings to defend against your Adepts and then also counterattack, and his 3rd would be super dead. Anyways, ultimately, herO is in a fine position right now. He's getting away with murder once again. Still can't believe he faked a cannon rush with 2 pylons. Like, I can get on board with the single pylon fake, right? That's okay, you can cancel it. It doesn't slow down your build that much. But a double pylon? That really does seem a little crazy. Anyways, there's a load of Adepts here right now, but obviously this is a Stargate opener. Even though there is a Twilight Council on the back of it. There it is. They are not going to be having glaive adepts anytime soon, right? They're not going to have their glaives research here anytime soon. Queens have to be careful though, because this is 3 oracles, and the oracles do deal a ton of damage. He has not been harassing workers whatsoever. So it's all a little bit funky. Like, normally the early game focus for Protoss is to try and slow down the Zerg, right? And I guess that has sort of happened, but Solar hasn't lost any drones. So despite the fact that his worker count may be a little bit lower than he would have liked it to be, since he hasn't lost anything, it is still just okay. Good defense here though. Now there are enough links to go across the map. It's charge first too, so we're not even gonna go into the blink upgrade. herO known for his all army hotkey usage, but not gonna be set up right over there. Shield battery in the back of this, and good warp in right there by our Protoss player. Although, there we go. Somehow herO managed to... herO is really good at having both 200 IQ and 20 IQ decisions, all in the same game. Like, I like what he's doing as far as the mind games go, and then we just see... little mistakes like that. Now, he recovers it, right? That was actually not that bad for him. Ultimately, that was 16 Zerglings for 3 probes, which I guess is not really that big of a deal, but... we see this over and over and over again, and this time around it was only 3 probes. Next time around it might just be 13 probes. Alright, that's a lot of adepts. Thing is, charge is the first upgrade that finishes here. Oracles are still close by, and they're gonna be activating, at least one of them was activating its little pulsar beam ability. Another Zergling attempt over here. Stalker's a little too far away. At least the Lynx will now scout that Zealots have their charge upgrade done. +1 melee here is finishing for Solar. He would have preferred having a Baneling Nest here. Yeah, he starts that up at this point. But I think Roaches will do just fine. +1 melee is still a really handy tool. And herO marches back home. Instant fleet beacon. Okay. This is one of those build orders that if you're a Protoss player out there and you have been actively trying to work on your PvZ, you cannot play this strategy. This strategy only works when you know exactly what your opponent's tendencies are. Because 9 times out of 10, you will just be Baneling busted against something like this, or he's cutting so many corners. I mean, he has killed 1, well now 2, now 4 workers, which is, I guess, respectable, but those are the first drones going down at nearly 8 minutes into the game. I will say that going triple Oracle, 5 Adepts, into charge, into dealing no damage, into straight carrier, is not a very good build order. Into 17 pylons? Hello. Look, people can request Protoss buffs all they want, okay? But you're not gonna tell me that that is the optimal way to play. Anyways, now the Roach attack has arrived. Solar, he's done messing around. All army hotkey once again used over here. So the Lynx, this time around with melee upgrades, are gonna scout exactly what's happening. Not only will they be able to kill probes, force the recall, but obviously they also see the carrier follow up. So far though, decent defense here by herO. Oracles had a ton of energy. So at least they should be able to get rid of the majority of those Roaches. All of the Zealots, it seems, have gone down. Yeah. And the Adepts are already shading across the map once again. I actually think this would have worked really nicely for herO if he had a unit in the wall off. So, if you can subtly overwhelm your opponent with carriers, I guess there's still the potential right here to scout it as well with the Cybercore research. But it would have been really quite handy, I think, for the Protoss player had those carriers not been scouted. Because now 11 Corruptors are coming up. Solar is reading his opponent like a book. He realizes what he is going up against. And I think a Roachling Corruptor attack next is gonna, yeah, it's gonna be amazing. There's no splash damage here. There's no robo play at all. Natural expansion is once more wide open. It's kind of beautiful, you know. I know there's places in the world where people never lock their doors. Now, maybe those places exist in the Netherlands, but I'd be surprised if anybody does that where I live. It doesn't really happen in the cities, I don't think. herO definitely has an open door policy, and I think you should start locking it tight. But you know what? That does interfere with the all army hotkey. No, 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 no! Okay, well, that actually was okay in the end, but it's still game over. GG is called and Solar wins game number 1. Hecate is gonna be game number 2. And herO decides to immediately send out a probe right at the very beginning of this game. Yeah, herO sometimes in the same game can genuinely look like a Diamond League Protoss and then also the #1 Protoss in the world. All at the same time in one game. I don't know how he does it. He's got a bit of that craziness in him. Especially when it comes to the smaller online cups. So this particular series is from the ESL Open Cup, which has a couple $100 on the line. But sometimes herO looks so tidy in the way that he performs, right? And sometimes he just makes silly decisions repeatedly over and over and over again. And I really don't think leaving your front door open like that is particularly useful. Anyways, let's see if we're gonna have a little bit more of a conventional style this time around. Sometimes I'm getting that vibe that herO may just be sitting in like a Discord call or like a voice chat. I don't really know exactly what they use over in Korea, but that he may just be in like a voice chat while he's playing the games, you know? Maybe he's sipping on a little drink, you know, he's having a grand old time and... Okay, now we're behind. It is time to go full Super Saiyan. Even though herO may be a little bit inconsistent in his performance, Solar is solid as a rock. He doesn't really have any days where I feel like Solar is playing significantly worse. It's actually kind of interesting, because Solar doesn't necessarily win a ton of events. Obviously, he has won his fair share of tournaments. But he's always gonna perform well. He's very much so like your round of 8, round of 4, sometimes grand finals kind of guy. Consistently performing solidly, but maybe not up to like a herO level. But overall, still certainly one of the strongest Zergs in the world, and you're not gonna catch him make a whole lot of errors. But in my mind, right, if herO is playing really well, his like peak condition is better than Solar's peak condition. But overall, Solar is the more solid player as far as consistency goes. It's an interesting clash. So what are we gonna do right here on Hecate? We're going for a Stalker first into a Chrono Boost, faking the Cybercore upgrade, and then into a Stargate. Already, this is again a little bit funky. You don't usually go Stalker first, in general. I think Stalker first is very mediocre, unless the Overlord is very overextended. I mean, this one may actually end up going down, which would justify a lot of it. Problem is... yeah, no, the OV's dead. What does Solar say? I hope Maddox is still here. herO says, please. Alright. Please as in, don't overextend. Solar already says GG. Freaking fluke. Alright. It's the first time I've seen the Korean word for fluke right there. Trash game, GG. Overlord is lost. May as well just leave the match right now. I fully agree. Why is the OV there? Yeah, it's a good point. Problem is, again, if you do that exact decision, right? If you go for the Stalker first against somebody like, for example, Dark, right? In my mind, just the craziest way to play Zerg, right? That's what Dark likes to do. There could just be a million Zerglings on the back of it, because Stalker first loses to a Link Flood. Like, you lose to a lot of stuff. It's very easy to mess this up, but we're getting a bunch of value here. So wait, hold up. herO says, I was startled too, that's why I got the Stalker. Yeah, so the Overlord pathing right there was a little suboptimal. Okay, can we at least finish off that queen? Are we gonna kill both? Are we gonna kill neither? Oh no! That was so rough. Oh, I hate everything about that. Okay, well, anyways. Big picture here, horrible situation for herO. The problem is, the real horrible situation is the situation that follows from here. Because now suddenly, Zerg gets to do whatever they like, and it's gonna be really tricky for Protoss to take a timely third. As a matter of fact, we're already at a point where the third is very late. Zerglings are scouting both of those locations. Solar has definitely made up for that Overlord loss. Normal timing for the third base is about 3 minutes and 45 seconds, sometimes 3 minutes and 50 seconds. Now we're coming up on 4 minutes and 50 seconds. Now, I've done the math for you. That is a full minute of additional time. I know. You're welcome. You're welcome. I did it with my own brain. I used my brain for that. Yeah, I have one. It even has wrinkles. I recently had a CT scan and an MRI scan for my ear, and my brain has wrinkles. I've seen it. Yeah, I was surprised when I found out as well. It's insane. +1 melee once again here for Solar. Follow-up right now from herO, though, is a pretty quick Twilight Council together with a structure that we never saw in the previous game, a robo facility. At least I don't think we did. Charge coming up once more as the very first upgrade into +1 as well. Adepts going across. Stasis Ward in the back. Okay. It's not catching a whole lot. The one in the main base, though, a bit more successful. I do think the wrinkles are a recent development, to be clear. Yeah. I've seen my own gameplay in StarCraft 2 for a long time now, and it is pretty clear that my brain, for the most part, is very smooth. Like a bowling ball. Anyways. We're throwing away a lot of units, but he's getting a good number of drone kills as well. 10 workers in total is respectable, but considering we lost all of that, I don't love it. Especially since the third is so late, it makes this entire game so messy. Oracles are gonna be recalled, fair enough. At least the third base will stay alive. +1 melee here together with charge is really nice because this will allow the zealots with this upgrade to 2-shot Zerglings rather than, well, 3-shot them. Meaning that I could do more math here. It's gonna take them 1 less attack to kill Zerglings. I know, crazy. They don't yet have the upgrade done though. Neither do the Zerglings, so both players decide to disengage. Next time they will engage, they will both have their upgrade. Which kind of makes the whole situation funny. Oh god. Well, I don't love this rally of the Zerglings, though. Unit does get warped in. Solar could smell that the door was open from a mile away. It's a very distinct smell. It smells like cheese. Yeah, that's what it smells like. Very moldy. Okay. More adepts are being thrown away. Zealots are running around. No. They could have gone in easy. Alright, so... Again, we open up charge slot +1, and we do nothing with it. What is this? I really think this is gonna fall flat on its face if you try this out in like 100 games. You're probably gonna lose 80 out of 100. It may very well be the right decision, though, in this particular series so far. It feels like we are building up to this like, you know, climax of a Protoss build. And then we back off when we're finally there. Now, I could give this Protoss build a very inappropriate name, but I won't. All I'm saying is that herO is eventually gonna bring it all together. No. This is gonna get demonetized right away. No, I can't. Alright, Spire is coming up. Love the idea of a Spire right here for Solar. A lot of losses so far on the side of the Protoss. A lot of losses as well so far on the side of the Zerg, though. And overall, I would say that herO is the better player in these very chaotic games. So Mutas are just about to spawn. I think this is about the worst timing, though, where you can have Mutas. I'm assuming they're gonna go across the map. Wait, we have Storm. Oh, okay, I was gonna say, where did this... You guys decided to fly your little capes and walk yourselves to the other side of the map? My god. Alright. I don't think that's what you should be doing. This is a scary Protoss army, though. Yeah, Storm in a lot of these choke points can hit very hard. So the Mutas are gonna put all of this on a timer. Unless we're gonna march back home again. Really? We're just gonna take a fourth? 9.5 minute fourth? Always walk your Templar, guys. Yeah. Never let your Templar walk alone at night. It is just, and basically in a game against the Zerg, it is just always nighttime, okay? We're using the all army hotkey right now to chase a bunch of... We're just... He's chasing it with Zealots and Immortals. I can't make this any better than it is, guys. That is like watching Wings of Liberty StarCraft 2, where Terrans used to defend Mutalisks by stimming their Marauders. But then, next up, we have some excellent control right here in the middle of this battle. Yeah, this Roach army is not gonna cut it. No, I don't believe in it. Can we pick up the Archon? No, we don't need to. Look! How are we microing like this, but then we're also all army hotkey chasing 6 Mutalisks around the main? herO has simultaneously 500 APM as well as 50. It's amazing. I love watching this guy play StarCraft, but it can be infuriating at times, man. Alright. All army hotkey on the rest of the units once again. We're gonna bring everything to the front. Honestly, this is a moment where I think herO could deal critical amounts of damage. He's just, yeah, he's mostly out of Templar. And that does make it a bit tricky. The one Phoenix, by the way, that got added into the mix as well, is an interesting one. Solar is going into a hive. He is going up to a Lurker Den. We're making the transition towards Lurker, Ling Bane, with maybe some Vipers for support. There's still a lot of Roach Ravager, but I don't think we're going to be seeing a whole lot of them anymore. This is like the end of an age, really. As soon as iron was invented, humans got rid of bronze pretty quickly too, right? Basically, right now, we're getting to the point where iron is out. Yep, you guys, you were critical in our development, but now you're going to be replaced. It's almost a bit sad. But then again, who really likes the Roach that much? There's probably people out there that love Roaches in both real life as well as in the video game. But I find both instances quite strange. Especially the second one. Yeah, there's probably people out there that keep Roaches as a pet. Yeah, those definitely exist. I like it when they hiss. It's my favorite part. Oh, Storm Drop. Okay. Well, 6 drones right there for a Prism is not a bad deal, considering we got some Templar in the process too. 1 Muta is coming up, maybe just to control some of that dead space. Mothership here. Interesting. We rushed up to a fleet beacon? Well, quote-unquote rushed up. Feels like we got there pretty quick, honestly, but just to get the Mothership? I mean, I think it's a good unit. It's just that a lot of Protoss players don't think so. Okay, push forward over here. This is a very scary attack. Protoss' economy right now is actually pretty sick. Solar has just been, yeah, pushed back onto just 4 base economy. And herO's got the same. herO's gonna take a 5th base right now at the bottom of the map. 13 minutes into it. Solar wants to become next door neighbors. Now there is technically still one open lot right over here. So the ground army right here for the Protoss is gonna get the night really hard, right? Lurkers are gonna be fully upgraded in just a moment. Maybe not with the missile research, but honestly, +2 Lurkers or +3 Lurkers. They deal a stupid amount of damage regardless. And the ground army is gonna be the night, but we're transitioning towards flying units. Yeah, no, that's not gonna happen anymore. Yeah, the age of the ground army here is mostly over. Much like the Roach, they're gonna be replaced. Much like Bronze Tools, they're gonna be replaced as well. Yeah. So that's why he's also pushing pretty aggressively here, trading out against, like, it's kind of funny because they're both trading out units that they don't necessarily want to have that many of anymore. Okay. Opening up supply for more of those carriers. Archon's morphing in over here, very ambitious, but it looks like, okay, at least one of them will stay alive. It's funny because they're both kind of doing the same thing here, where they're trying to get the 5th base going. herO right now has revealed the carrier surprise. Okay. Big storms. On some of his own units, too. Here's the mothership suddenly coming in. My god, there's 3 different armies maneuvering around the map. Like, how do we... Oh, we're recalling this army. How do we simultaneously never have a unit in the wall-off in the natural expansion, but then also have all of these different moving parts? It really is fascinating. We're gonna need to have a documentary called In the Mind of the Protoss. I wonder what's going on there. Many wrinkles in very specialized locations, but definitely some smoothness from time to time as well. Okay. So ultimately, where are we at? Well, herO has leveraged himself into a beautiful position. In the strangest way possible, but he is leading this game. I'm a little surprised we got there, but yeah, this is not an army that's gonna be good in the late game. Without spellcasters, I don't think you can do much. Love the time warp positioning there too. Look at his herO ready to sandwich this entire Zerg army. He decides to cloak. There are a couple overseers nearby, but if the overseers end up getting targeted, then the cloaking obviously can be denied as well. There's not that many carriers. Yeah, against small numbers of carriers, I guess Hydras will do. Now reinforcing ones do pop out of the Stargates, and there it is. herO actually manages to get it done. Okay, our final game. It takes place on the map Site Delta. It is kind of impossible not to be a herO fan. Yeah, unless you enjoy Excel spreadsheets and you like watching StarCraft 2 getting played in the most beautiful and optimal... Yeah, then maybe. Then maybe it's not that much fun to watch herO perform. But I personally... I love what he does, but sometimes it can be infuriating to be a herO fan. Righty. Gonna go and put a pylon in the wall off. This is one of those moves already that a lot of people have many issues with. There's no reason to really put it in the wall off. The problem with putting a pylon in the wall off is that to many Zerg players, this screams, Banelings! 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 Like, your average... I think your average ladder hero out there, when they see a pylon in the wall off, they're immediately thinking at the very least of Banelings. Now, I don't think you should give in to that thought, because I have done that many times myself, where I'm like, ooh, pylon in the wall off. Make a Baneling nest? It doesn't work at all, because you can just put StarCraft right behind it. It suddenly doesn't seem like that brilliant of a plan. But considering there's no reason to put the pylon in the wall off, yeah, you don't really need to. I do think there's a hole over here, by the way. Yeah, I think he's gonna complete the wall off here with a cybernetic score. It's just that you're inviting chaos. And I think that's probably what herO likes. Dark very much so does the same thing, where he also tries to invite a lot of chaos. For example, from his Protoss opponents. Which may very well be the reason that whenever I cast herO versus Dark, they play some of the lowest high-level games I ever get to cast. Or maybe we could consider it some of the highest low-level games. Doesn't matter, same difference. But that, I think, is the reason why those series end up looking so strange. Luckily for us, herO and Dark do play against each other very frequently. It's interesting, though, to see Solar deal with some of that. Game number 1 went really quite well for him, and then game number 2, I think he kind of lost the plot a little bit. Yeah, because that game never really looked like it was particularly good for herO, because his 3rd base was late, his 4th base was very late, his 5th base was late, his traits were not particularly good. He threw away a lot of units, but then somehow, some way, herO connects all of the pieces of the puzzle, and it actually looks pretty solid. I think if Solar would have played it a little bit differently, though, maybe focus on some more spellcasters, maybe slow it down a bit in the late game, be some more active in the mid game, maybe, you know, get some more value out of the mutas, because those mutas never really achieved anything. That game would have looked very different, but anyhow, let's focus on this one. What exactly do we have? We've got ourselves a Stargate opener once again, all normal. We've got ourselves an Adept first, all normal. Only a single adept. No, I was gonna say, that doesn't make any sense. No, there's 2. Be funky if he only had a single one, because that is very, very dangerous. Generally speaking, you're gonna need at least 2 to be able to take a 3rd base at a reasonable hour. Maybe not an hour. Reasonable minute. And he is gonna be planting down that 3rd nexus at 3:35? Really? Alright. Cutting a couple of corners. Getting it earlier than the Zerg player would really be prepared for. Lings are already running across the map though, so let's see if herO is gonna end up getting punished for it. Okay. Takes quite a bit of hull damage there on the Oracle, but I think it's okay. Not the end of the world, as long as we regenerate some of the shields. All of these Zerglings obviously could have also been drones. Well, 2 of the Zerglings each could have been 1 drone. These are not achieving that much just yet. Oh, lovely little nuke over there. Yeah, good warp in. This base is also going to be protected. And no. Oh my god. Ay. Stop playing with fire, herO. Yeah, if herO, when he was a kid and he was given like a package of matches or whatever, right? He was definitely playing with it the entire evening long. 100%. Very dangerous. Don't give herO a lighter. He's immediately going to experiment with it. A lot of additional Zerglings are now coming up though, and the Zerg economy really isn't looking that amazing. Yeah, we don't really want to see even numbers. At least not if you're a Zerg fan. You'd expect the Zerg to be a little bit ahead as far as the worker count goes. Okay. Roachwarren coming up once more. About the 5-minute mark. We do not yet have a lair, which is starting to be quite late. Blink is coming up together with +1 ground weapons and a whole load of gateways. So we're going up to 7 gateway production here. This is actually going to be a pretty committed push. The only thing right here for herO is that he does not yet have a robo facility. And that is going to make this all a little bit funky, because how are we going to reinforce? Generally speaking, the reason for the robo is to go at least for a warp prism. But he will not have a warp prism here. No, not yet anyways. He could still add it on, but now the gateways are already finished. Oh my god. Really? This is the solution. You can put a probe down and then put it on hold position. That is one way to, at the very least, delay Zerglings for a moment. Bit of a classic. Pylon here in the middle of the map. And I guess we're gonna go for our 8th gateway right over here. I do love gateways in even numbers, as you probably know. Oh no, we already have 8. Alright. 9? Oh my god. 9! It's too many. This really is a classic though. Probe on hold position with a shield battery behind it. Anyways. The man's gonna be capable of warping in many a stalker. Is there enough for Solar to defend against this? He needs to be very careful. Yeah, Solar now sees exactly what he's playing against. He did pull the probe away, by the way. Alright. Well. Solar decides to make non-stop army here for a while. How many stalkers are we gonna make? I think the answer is yes. More of the ones that we... Yeah, just as many as we can possibly afford. You can see the oracles sometimes flying forward a little bit too far. That is whenever the army hotkey gets activated. Zergling run by right now towards the 3rd base. Honestly, you should go for the natural every time against herO. Like, the 3rd is actually pretty decently protected. The natural has been wide open for a while. Solar is respecting his opponent here, though. Yeah. Solar definitely could have done more damage if he decided to go in a different direction. But he's assuming that that is not the case. Anyways, the stalker numbers are growing. Okay. We're already up to 26. This is kind of like herO playing mono battles, where you can only make 1 unit. Warping in 7 more. You will not be able to produce out of 9 of them, by the way. It's a bit much. Yeah. You might be able to reinforce a few more. I guess they're off beat right now, or off tick, so some of the gateways are on cooldown, whilst I guess the 2 additional ones are not. And it makes it all a little bit messy. Solar is getting a bit too fancy, though. He's going into banelings here. He's expecting that maybe there's going to be some different follow-up, too, with maybe charge slots or something along those lines. He does not really need anything but mass-ling Roach. Maybe a Ravager if you have a lot of gas, but that's really about it. We're at 41 Stalkers now. With good control, you can keep them alive for a very long time. Is he gonna mono battle his way to victory? Ah, 2 Zealots get warped in. Where are they? Oh, they're defensive. They don't count. That's the plan. He wants to try and win this game, and with it the series, just by making non-stop Stalker. This concave is amazing, though. Oh, aggressive blink forward. Absolute madman of a Protoss. Oh no, what? Is he actually getting it done? Drones are pulled away. Protoss economy at this point is huge, at least compared to the Zerg. At this stage in the game, 9 minutes, 10 minutes into a match of PvZ, you definitely expect the Zerg to have more workers than the Protoss. More and more Stalkers are coming up. Couple of Lings over here will wake up out of stasis. Another aggressive move forward right there with the Stalkers as he's trying to hug whatever Zerg unit is available. My god. I think he just sealed the deal. He could just go home, but he doesn't need to. GG is cold. And herO, in a crazy series of Protoss versus Zerg, ultimately obtains the victory. Genuinely, it feels like sometimes he plays... He has very high highs, right? So like he plays like the very best Protoss player in the world, the one moment, and in the next we just see really sloppy errors like we see all the time in literally Diamond League.